What could a North Atlantic codfish and a tomato have in common? Absolutely nothing. If that is your answer, then you are completely wrong. It isn't visible, but it is definitely in there. Now at this point, you are probably thinking, this person has no idea what they're talking about. The answer to this question is very simple: genetically modified organisms, which I will refer to as GMOs. During my speech, I am going to discuss what a GMO is. Next, I will discuss how a GMO is created. And finally, I will describe the ways that GMOs are used. Let's begin by discussing what a GMO actually is. According to yourgenome.org, GMOs are organisms that have had their characteristics changed through the modification of their DNA. GMOs can be organisms such as plants, animals, or microorganisms, or it can be pharmaceutical. According to Chelsea Powell, a common misconception is that any plant or animal that is outside the realm of our reference for natural is a GMO. This is simply not true. The scientific community and the U.S. Food and Drug Administration use a stricter definition for GMOs: an animal or a plant that has been created through genetic engineering. Now that you have an overview of what a GMO is, exactly how is this process done? A process called genetic engineering gives us the end result of a GMO. The key steps involved in genetic engineering are identifying a trait of interest, isolating that trait, inserting that trait into a desired organism, and propagating that organism. The trait being inserted could be classified as desirable, or a trait being deleted or altered could be classified as undesirable. Obviously, the insertion of a desirable trait will create a better product. A GMO can also be created by introducing a new piece of DNA into a genome of an organism. Since you have been enlightened to the science behind a GMO, you probably still have many questions. Why would we need such an organism? GMOs have been created for a multitude of reasons. First, they are made for commercial farming. These are instances where the crops have been created to be pest resistant or yield a higher number of crops. Second, they have been created for environmental purposes. There are larger crop yields and less crop loss due to pests, then the farming doesn't take up as much land, which is better for the environment. Lastly, and perhaps most importantly, GMOs have been created for medicinal purposes. One example of that is the flu vaccine Fluzone. Other examples include life-saving insulin, Humira, and ZMapp. Today, I informed you of the basic information about GMOs by explaining how they are created, what they are, and the varieties of uses. As you can see, modern science and technology have enabled us to advance far beyond what Gregor Mendel ever dreamed when he first cross-pollinated pea plants. In the first paragraph, I asked you, what could a North Atlantic codfish and a tomato have in common? Does it shock you to find out that the gene that keeps the cod from freezing in 28-degree wet water has been isolated and inserted into some varieties of tomatoes to keep them from freezing in a frost? It definitely did me. Thank you.